Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is your 10 o'clock scholar for another piece you can take with you and keep it forever. We shine the light on everything. Things you won't see in your school books, things you may not even find online. You got to know how to look. You got to know how to talk to AI if you're going to use it as a research tool, because it only reflects the knowledge that you know what you're talking about. In other words, if you don't know nothing about a subject, they're not going to give you anything. But the more you know about something, the more you can receive. Who is this gentleman here? This is the man they call Captain Willie Lynch. Yeah, we all know about this letter that he talked about, the division of the slaves, how he divided them. But I'm going to take it a little deeper. Those who have the lessons, lesson number one. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's not for you. The answer to lesson number one on question 4 states, because they had started making trouble among the righteous people, telling lies, they accused the righteous people, causing them to fight and kill one another. They accused the righteous people, causing them to fight and kill one another. One more time. They accused the righteous people, causing them to fight and kill one another. So, how many of y'all know what that means? What it means, they accuse the righteous people. Well, how the accusations can make a people turn against themselves. That's what we asking. See, when you accuse a whole group, a nation, a community, a people, you create fear, shame, and pressure. When that happens, the people turn inside. In other words, let me give you an example. They started calling us rapists. They started making lies that we was criminals, so-called black people. Now, we didn't do none of these things. But because they accused us of this falsehood, and the people began to turn on each other, say, you must be the one who's quitting the crime, because I'm not doing it. No one in my family's doing it. You must be the one. No, you must be the one. Because they're trying to prove that they aren't guilty, they turn on each other. That's where the fighting and the killing starts. We blaming each other because they gave us a false narrative, and we're fighting each other instead of being united against them. This is also the principle called divide and conquer. That's how you divide a people. You make accusations against them that cause them to fight and kill one another. I'm going to give you a real good example. Give me a minute here. You remember the people in what's this African country name where they had the Hutus and the Tutsis? Y'all may not remember that because it happened quite a while back in the 90s. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Okay, well, I don't have my paper in front of me, but I can remember some of it. What the French did, they favored one group over the other. They favored the Hutsis over the Tutsis. Told the Tutsis that they was more intelligent than the Hutus. Told the Hutus uh, that they was more educated, more able to be taught, and by favoring them because they was lighter or whatever, it created hostility among the people. It caused them to be divided. They was never divided before because of color, because of religion, because of whatever. But when somebody comes in and favor part of your group over another, then that's how you destroy the group, by accusing them. No matter what you accuse them of, you cause shame as a people. And so they are competing to appear more civilized to the Europeans, you see? You never try to appease the European before, but because he have given you a false narrative and accusing you, then you are divided. You don't trust each other anymore. You're no longer a united front because these artificial borders have been created. This is how all civil wars start. Division within. This is the greatest trait that the colonizer did, is divide us. And you got examples everywhere. Just by saying, so for example, the so-called black people in America, by saying we're criminal. No evidence, nothing to prove it. We're working people, we're very prosperous people, very family-oriented. But 100 years ago, they started labeling us as criminal. Why did they do that? Because we was talking about freedom. We were talking about being everything for ourselves as a people. So that became subversive to the dominant group. Well, let's say not the dominant group. That's a misnomer. Let's say the ruling group. So the way they created this accusation against us that we were criminals, we were violent, we was untrustworthy, just to weaken them as a people. They did it with Clarence Thomas. There was opposition. They didn't want him to succeed. Who they? I'm talking about the people in the power. They didn't want him there. So they created a division, made it a sexual thing between him and one of his employees. They prompt her to make up things that he was making advanced at her. And so you got the whole country, the whole community divided. Why? Because of false accusations. They did it more recently with Bill Cosby. Nobody know, unless you was here during the time, the good this man did to the community. More people went back to college or began college because of his movies, his TV shows, than any other time in history. This man gave money freely, encouraged many black entrepreneurs. In fact, just by being connected with him would put you into the money. Because he'll say one word and you take that word and prosper off of it. So how you divide that power against you? You accuse them. But they had to go way back because the man is squeaky clean. They had to go back to the 70s. The 70s, a time when everybody was partying and sleeping around. That was the thing back then, taking drugs. They called it free love. That's what the Beatles singing about. If you would know it, if you wasn't around, you would know what we're talking about. But I was around. I know what was going on then. So they get these old bag women 50 years ago and never proved they did anything. 50 women, can you imagine? And they all had to read a script The same script. That was so embarrassing. And he never did anything improper because they willingly went with him to his house. And everybody's popping drugs then. He wasn't doing nothing nobody else wasn't doing. So that's how you divide. You bring false accusations. And then the people angry at him. Black people say, oh, you Uncle Tom, you look what you did. Forget all the good he did. And nobody's perfect. He wasn't perfect. Sure wasn't. But he did more for the community than anyone else. See, he came up on an era where we was forced to integrate. So he witnessed how we lost our businesses and everything. And he saw education as a way out. So he went and did it himself and put his philosophy on TV. You'll never see us looking as beautiful people, high morals, high ideas than you see in the Cosby Show. That's why you would never, well, let's say never. I'd be surprised if you see the Cosby Show playing nowadays. Why? Because they're giving you an image they don't want you to have. You know who they is. They want to give you these fake shows, Parkers and Sanfords, all these things that don't have any meaning at all, showing you as an ignoramus. Everything's a joke. No seriousness in the movie at all. Okay, I'm cutting down my time now. Been here a while. So that's what we mean in the lesson when we say he accused them, causing us to fight and kill one another. So whenever you see us fighting and killing one another, you know what's behind it. You know what's behind it. False accusations. In Chicago, when I went there, I was trying to find out why was all these killing going on. Do you know there was drive-bys, was people who wasn't even in the community? You don't know who these people were. And then they tell people on one side of town, they have infiltrators that come in. So you know who did that? That was so-and-so on that side of town. This is what they do. No verification, no proof, just to get us fighting each other. We weren't fighting each other in the 60s. It was all about love. It was taking care of each other. You couldn't break us. So they come up with these tactics of divide and conquer. And we're going to talk more about this character here because most people think the Lynch laws were just applied to black people. He did, no. The Lynch law was applied to white people. You hear me? This was a law to these renegades, white people. And then after 1880 to the 90s, when they decided that they didn't want us to be free, they didn't want us, we got out of slavery, physical slavery. They used these accusations to put us in bondage. So they took these Lynch laws and applied them solely to so-called black people. Ida Wells taught about it. She wrote about it. People they would say they was hung. 90% of them, they said, oh, he was trying to rape the white woman. You see their women? You see our women? What could he possibly want with her? I mean, a sickness is a sickness, but that's the same thing they use hundreds of years later at Bill Cosby. Oh, we want to protect white womanhood. Whew, wake up, people, wake up. I'm doing my best. So that's it for now. I like questions because questions allow me to go in deeper. Any question in the chat? No. Well, I guess that's a good thing. At least you're intelligent enough not to go against this truth I'm sharing. Okay, until next time, we're going to give another piece of the puzzle. You got to put it together and free yourself. Nobody can give you freedom. It's yours. You're born free. But if you believe you're a slave, you believe you come from slavery, then your mind is fixed upon somebody making you free. You see the head job they did? I'm doing my best to wake you all up. Many people out there. I'm not the only one.